welcome to Talking Over Tea. Today we're going to be doing a 1-week reading challenge. I think it is a real challenge-ish, but we're kind of just making up the rules as we go. So this is going to be a contest, and would you like to tell what the prize is going to be?
The prize is the winner gets to choose one thing from the dollar store and the loser has to buy it for them.
Yes, so I think we're going to track our hours of how much we read, and whoever reads the most hours wins, and also whoever reads the most pages wins. But we're gonna figure it out. So we just wanted to start this video with sharing the books. We each picked 7. We know that we're probably definitely not gonna read all of these in a week, so we'll see how it goes.
We just wanted to set the bar high.
Yes, so the first book that I chose was The Captive Kingdom by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This is the 4th book in the Now Ascendant series instead of trilogy. I don't really know what it's about. I am kind of excited to read it.
So my first book is Winnie the Pooh. I just wanted to read this because I've never read Winnie the Pooh before and it just seems cute, and I have one of the Winnie the Pooh books, but it's not the first one. So I want to read the first one and then read my own copy.
So these aren't the order that we're going to be reading them in, we're just picking ones at random right now. My next one is called Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This may be one that I end up not getting to depending on how many books I read. I just kind of picked it because I needed another book. I don't exactly know what it's about. It's a sci-fi. I don't really know.
My next one is Words on Fire, also by Jennifer A. Nielsen, and this was a recommendation by a friend. I've read other books by her and I liked them, so I'm excited to read this one too.
My next one is Kitty Hawk by Roland Smith. I just read the second book, so I wasn't super excited to read another one, but I thought it'd be a really fast-paced book that I could get through pretty quickly.
My next one is The Book of Pearl by Timothy D. Bombell, and I don't really know a thing about this book. I just found it at the library because it's written by an author that I really like, and I'm excited to see if it's just as good as his other books.
My next one is The Hiding Place by Corey ten Boom. I have been meaning to read this for a long time, and I don't really know why I haven't gotten to it. All I've heard is good things about it, so I decided now would be a good time.
My next one is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This is a World War II historical fiction book. I don't really know what it's about, but I've seen some good reviews, so I'm excited to read this one too.
My next one is The Hidden Staircase by Carolyn Keene. It's book 2 in the Nancy Drew series. This is a series that I never really read as a kid for some reason, though a lot of people did. So I thought it would be a good time to at least read some of them.
Next is The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. We started listening to this as a family, but we only got through 1 chapter, so I'm just gonna read it on my own.
My next book is The Borrowers of Field by Mary Norton. This is book 2 in the Borrowers series. I'm not sure what's gonna happen in this one, but I liked the first one and I'm excited to see what happens in this.
Next I have Mary Poppins Comes Back by P.L. Travers, and this is the 2nd book in the Mary Poppins series. It's been a really long time since I read the first Mary Poppins, so I'm glad to get back into the series.
The last book that I have is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Maddie has read this book and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm interested to see if I like it as much as a lot of other people have.
My last book is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This will be my first Agatha Christie book, and I thought I would start off with the most popular one. I'm excited to start reading Agatha Christie's books. So the challenge starts tomorrow and it's 7 days, and we'll see how many books we can read.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Now we are going to pick our first book from a hat. Maddie will be our first contestant. Here, let me mix those up. We have the book titles written on slips of paper. What you get? What you get?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Da, 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 da! Now for my final moment.
How are you feeling?
A little nervous. Ugh, scary. Okay, Kitty Hawk.
You wanna go again? You
no,
made this up.
No, I'm not going again. I'll read it. That was the picking of the books. Come back tomorrow. Okay, to start off the first update of day 1, Monday, I thought I would just show the progress on the first book that I was reading, Kitty Hawk. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so I'm pretty close to being done, and I feel like it's going pretty good. I do have schoolwork and things, but I'm hoping I could probably finish this one and start another book maybe tonight, because tomorrow is going to be a busier day. So yeah, I've really liked this book so far. It's a really fast read. So yeah, I'll probably update later depending on how much I end up reading by the end of the day.
So it's almost 9 o'clock now, and I kind of forgot to update, but I have read 176 pages of Murder on the Orient Express. I'm kind of surprised I got this far, since this is one of my busier days, but I'm hoping that if I read a lot tonight, I can finish it.
Okay, this will be update for day 2. It is currently around 5 o'clock right now, and I have not made much progress at all on The Captive Kingdom, which is the next book I started. I don't think I'll be able to finish this today, unless I stayed up really late. I am currently that far in, but I'm going to plan to read more. This day was busier than yesterday, and I didn't start reading early like I should have. We got back from piano lessons not too long ago, and we've got a Bible study tonight. And I have a lot of school to do, so I don't think I can get a ton of reading in until tonight, and hopefully I can read a lot then.
I finished Murder on the Orient Express this morning, and I'm kind of surprised that I've already finished one book. I really liked Murder on the Orient Express. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it was kind of different than what I thought it would be. I liked it. I wouldn't say it was the most amazing book ever, but it was sometimes funny and interesting, and I didn't know what was going to happen in the end. The next book I drew is Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen, and this one's pretty short, so hopefully I can get this one finished.
Okay, update for day 3. It is currently 9 o'clock at night and finally updating. So I finished The Captive Kingdom today, and I actually haven't started any other book yet. The next book that I'm going to read is the shortest book that I have, which is Fahrenheit 451, in hopes that I could catch up. Yeah, I was going to talk about The Captive Kingdom because I feel like I really haven't talked about the books all that much. So I really liked this book. I thought the author did a really good job of continuing the series after so many years, because I wasn't really sure what it was going to look like. But yeah, I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm going to try hard to catch up, and I will update tomorrow.
I haven't done a lot of reading today because it was one of my busiest days. I'm about halfway done with Words on Fire, and this is not a World War II historical fiction like I thought it was. I'm kind of glad it's not, because I have another one to read, but it's actually about a girl who lives in Russian-occupied Lithuania in 1893, and I don't know anything about this time period, so it's interesting to learn about. It's pretty good. As I said, I'm only halfway, so hopefully I can read a lot today and get it almost finished. You gonna be my little reading buddy?
Okay, this is an update for day 4. So it's currently like 10 o'clock at night, and I haven't even finished Fahrenheit 451 yet. I am pretty close. I'll finish it by tonight. I'm gonna try to catch up. If I can't, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, Fahrenheit 451 is going pretty good. I like it so far. This one's a dystopian futuristic book. I'm going to try to read a lot, and I will check back tomorrow.
It's almost 10 p.m. and I finished Words on Fire this morning, and I started Winnie the Pooh. I'm almost finished with it. I think I only have 40 more pages. I really like children's books from the 20th century because they're just more funny and more intelligent than most children's books written more recently. I liked Words on Fire. I think it was really interesting, and I think it was geared more towards younger people, but it was still nice to read. And it was really interesting to read about book smuggling, which is what the book was about. I really like books about books, so that was fun. I should be finishing Winnie the Pooh tonight, and then I'll pick another book and start reading that. Toodles. Whew.
So it is now Friday of the next week, and the contest is over. It ended Monday, and there was some complications of why we did not video for the last 3 days. I got sick, and we went sledding, we went to like a cooking thing,
Yeah, we had family.
So yeah, it was just kind of a busy week, which we didn't really expect. In those last 3 days, I finished Fahrenheit 451. I read the Nancy Drew book, and I read The Borrower's Afield.
I finished Winnie the Pooh, and then I read The Book of Pearl, and also Mary Poppins Comes Back.
So to talk about these books, yeah, I talked about Fahrenheit 451 a little bit. I thought it was a good idea, but wasn't necessarily written in the best way it could have been. I gave that one 3.5 stars. And next, The Hidden Staircase. I thought this was pretty entertaining. I'm not a huge fan of the character of Nancy, but I thought it was a book that was entertaining and it kept me reading. The next one was The Borrower's Afield, and this was the last book I read. I started off thinking it was quite boring just because I wasn't really in the mood to read it, but then I ended up really liking it by the end, and I thought that the story continued really well, and I'm interested to see what the next ones are in this series and finish it up.
So I finished Winnie the Pooh and I really loved it. I'm really excited to read the second one, The House at Pooh Corner, and I really like classic children's books, and this one was just funny and cute and kind of crazy, but it was really enjoyable. And then I read The Book of Pearl. I had no idea what this book was about because it was just by an author that I really like, and I liked this. I would say it's more like if you're wanting just a good story, like it's kind of a mix between historical fiction and fantasy. It's about a prince who gets transported from the fantasy world into World War II Paris. It wasn't as good as his other books. I liked those a lot more, but I still really like this one. The last one was Mary Poppins Comes Back, and I did not realize that I had already read it. I liked it and I would recommend it, maybe not for reading again.
We each read 5 books out of the 7 days, which I feel like that's pretty good. It wasn't what we were aiming for, but I would normally not read 5 books.
I would normally read 1 book.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually feel like we read
Yeah,
that much,
when-
so...
Like the first day, I was like preparing for like
Yeah.
brutal reading.
You planned out every
I know.
hour.
And I was like, this doesn't even feel like that much, even though I normally wouldn't read that much in a day.
Yeah, but that kind of just showed me that if we really do want to read, then we
Can
actually have
fit
time
time,
for
yeah.
it. It's not like we don't actually have time.
We are now going to read the stats of who won the contest. So, little disclaimer here. On the word counts, we couldn't really find the exact word count. We found a website, but then some of our books weren't on there, so we just kind of had to guesstimate. So they're not perfect, but they're as close as we were able to get without counting each word of every book.
I read approximately 393,936 words.
And I read 332,930. So, Maddie was our winner for the word count.
And then we had hours. So I read 17 1/3 hours.
I read 21 1/3 hours.
So Amelia won
Yes.
that part.
So we came to a little predicament on what the prize was supposed to be because we really didn't think through it. We didn't decide which was better, the hours or the word count. So what we came to is that we would each go get a prize, but I would pay for both of them because we thought that the words were a little more important because that shows that she read more in a less amount of time. So that's what we're gonna go do. It's not really like the prize isn't that amazing. We just decided to make it a little more interesting. We would add a prize and make this like a contest. But
So,
since we both win something, you know,
Yeah.
we're doing what we want to do. So.
So we're gonna head over to the dollar store and pick out some prizes. Really gotta know how to shop here. Oh, mouse. What is this? Oh, it's a piggy bank. These are cute. It's a root beer packet. Oh. You need a pool table. It looks great. See, look, there's also floral.
Okay, Maddie got a candle snuffer as her fabulous prize. And I got a Kickback and Color by Number Patterns to Music book, which is a color by number book with some
songs on the back that you can download for free.
So we forgot to film an outro, but we wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it.
We also wanted to give a very big thank you to Luminos Libro for giving us a shout out in one of her videos. You should definitely go look at her videos, and if you want to find other channels that talk about books, we will link her shout out video down in the description for you to go look at.
It was very thoughtful of her to come up with the idea to mention other book channels, and we're really grateful that she mentioned us.
We just want to thank you again for watching, and we'd love to hear what you've been reading lately. And we'll see you again for our next post in 2 weeks.
Wait, mine is too.
Ah!
Okay.
Is that Winnie the Pooh?
Thank you.
What was like? This is why we don't film when our parents are home. Okay, this will just be the background music. It's so loud. Oh my gosh!
You should.
Yes!
Where are we gonna put this in though? I guess
We gotta make like an intro.
hello. Starring the one and only